Hello again, this is Lindsay Heyer coming to you from Upfront Counseling Solutions right here in Medicine Hat. I just want to remind you to please watch the series I just completed. This series is on the Four Horsemen from Gottman therapy. So it is criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and stonewalling. So if you haven't watched the series that I just completed, please watch them. It's incredibly helpful for your relationship. So anyway, I'd like to today introduce something very exciting. One of the secrets to a successful relationship. Let's see if you or your relationship can be considered as one of the master couples. I had a look. So anyway, we'll see if you're a master couple. What does that mean? Well, it means that my partner gets me. I'm going to explain more about that in the video. But I want to explain three concepts for today, that have to do with the secret of really relating well to your partner. And it's called, from Gottman therapy, the bid, turning towards, and turning away. So the bid, in short, is really when you hint, or you say something to get your partner's attention. Maybe it's a bid for affection. Maybe you just want them, to pay attention to what you're saying. So you're putting it out there. And it's so important, that they, when you do get it, the bid, and you turn towards them, then it's like your partner is saying, I get you. So that is incredibly important. Let me give you a few examples of this, the bid, turning towards, or even turning away. So, this one time, I lived in Nicaragua about 20 years, although I grew up in Saskatchewan. And usually when I got in a vehicle there, I would go from point A to B. If I'm going from one city to the next, I just wanted to get there as quick as possible and get to the next city. Well, I'm with my wife, right? And my daughter, maybe one of my sons, and I'm racing off to Matagalpa, which is in maybe a bit of a northern part city of Nicaragua. And my wife says to me, she goes, "Oh, look at the lovely fruit on the side of the road," right? And I said, yeah, that is lovely. And boom, I just kept on going. And so we're traveling down the road, and she says, when I say, look at the lovely fruit on the side of the road, it's because I would like to stop, possibly. Oh, okay, all right. So I made a mental note of that, right? And a month later, I'm in my vehicle and I'm ready to get from point A to B. And all of a sudden, my wife sees the fruit stand on the side of the road again. And she says, you know what? There's that fruit stand on the side of the road. That's looking pretty good today. And I turn toward her and I say, hey, would you like to stop? And she said, yeah, that'd be good. I'd love to. And I pull over quickly. I get out of the car and we shop for a few things and I just take my time and get what she needs. And then we get in the car again. I said, was that good? She had a big smile on her face. She was very content. Yes. And that was turning towards. And the first time I turned away, didn't pay attention, didn't get her, didn't understand what she was really wanting my attention for. The second time I got it, and that was a connection. That was like really taking care of something that, buying these lovely fruits for my mother-in-law or her mom on the way to visit, and coming with gifts of good tidings. It was a very wonderful thing. Now, another example I'd like to give you is, if I go home and my wife says, oh, I'm kind of bored. I've been in the house, all week. And then instead of turning towards her, I'm just kind of occupied doing something. And I just say, oh, yeah, that really sucks. And I continue to do whatever. Don't pay any more attention. Or I can turn towards her and say, you know what? Yeah, that is difficult. I didn't think of that. I was like going in and out all week myself, and you were at home. You know what? That Mexican restaurant downtown has Latin dancing tonight. My wife's from Nicaragua. She's a great dancer. She puts me to shame. But anyway, how about that? Would you like to go dancing? Yeah, that would be great. So that would be turning towards her instead of saying, oh yeah, that really sucks, you know. No brownie points there, that's for sure. So this bid and turning towards or turning away, super, super important. What is it that sometimes distracts us from this turning towards? You know, somebody could be watching a hockey game and if it's one of the series or the playoffs, the roof could cave in and be still like just watching the hockey game, right? Anything could happen just watching the hockey game. You know, so sometimes there's that distraction. Sometimes we don't turn towards because of stress, you know, and that could be, you know, very bad. So they don't recognize the bid because of whether distraction, stress, or they're just not paying attention, right? Well, you know, I don't know if you ever watched the series, Everybody Loves Raymond, right? There's this one scene where Raymond loves sports, loves to golf. It's a beautiful day, and he just finished breakfast up, and he's grabbing his golf clubs, and his wife says, come here, Ray, just like to say goodbye. And Ray walks up and says, okay, goodbye. And she hugs him and gives him this big kiss, and he backs up and goes, wait a minute, come on, man, that's not fair. She goes, what? I'm just saying, in her lovely way, I'm just saying goodbye, Ray. I'm just saying goodbye. And, you know, says, oh yeah, right, come on. You know, and though honestly, I'm just saying goodbye. She walks up to him again and gives him this, you know, amazing kiss, and he pauses and he goes, oh boy, that's just not fair at all. I mean, that's a huge bid, right? And then he looks at the door, looks at his golf bags, and then he says, well, you know, there'll be more golf days, more sunny days. It is summer, you know, what the heck? And grabs her by the hand and runs up the stairs. You know, use your imagination, but intimacy, right? So Deborah was testing the power of the bid, that turning towards, even if Ray was distracted, he was on his way out the door, he was excited about golf, nothing in his mind except that, until she walked up and gave him this very intimate kiss, and that derailed him. So that was, I guess you could say, a more powerful bid. Now, sometimes too, there's not only this kind of turning towards, this all-out turning against your partner. Say if there's this negative overdrive, your relationship is not in a good place, and the partner then, you know, would maybe like to go out or go out for dinner, and he says, well, you know, maybe we should go out to dinner for tonight. And the partner looks at him or her, whichever looks at who, we'll say she looks at him and says, you know what, you can go on your own. In fact, you can just go to hell. Whoa, that's like an attack. You know, so they're in a bad place. He's maybe turning towards her, wanting to do something, maybe even a lighter bid, like, hey, maybe we should do something tonight. And she might just attack him. It can go either way, guy attacking the girl. But the thing of it is the bid, not only one doesn't turn towards the bid, but it's actually, it's a rejection. So there's this turning against the other person, which is so much more hurtful. So because the next time maybe that other person wants to do something, wants to go out, or there's a different type of bid that the person wants to give a bid, they won't give the bid because they don't want to be rejected. So my last point is this, you know, when we talk about the master couple or the master couples, what does that mean? You know, how do you know if you guys in your relationship are like the master couples? It sounds like pretty, wow, powerful, right? Well, you know, some couples get the bid almost all the time. It's the look, it's a facial expression, it's not saying too much, and they just understand their partner. That's a real intimacy. That's a real intimacy. You're saying to your partner, I see you, I understand you, and I'm going to respond to you almost 9 times out of 10. Let's just say even if it's 8 times out of 10, that's pretty good. That would be the master couple. If you're doing that, that's a key to intimacy. You know, that you're always in tune with your partner. You're into me and I'm into you, into Missy, right? So anyway, little play on words. But there you have it. You know, the bid turning towards, turning away, and that other one is that sense of rejection where you're turning against your partner. Not good, not good at all, not good at all, because sometimes the bids for attention or affection will maybe come to an end. And that's when relationships begin to end. So let's not go down that path. Let us strive to be, if you're in a relationship, the master couples, right? Pay attention to each other. Really pay attention. Say, I see you. I understand you. I get you. All right. This is Lindsay Heyer from Upfront Counseling Solutions. And, you know, look for me on YouTube, Upfront Counseling Solutions, and subscribe. Don't be a stranger, especially all you nephews out there. I know I see you guys watching my videos. Anyway, this is Lindsay Heyer from Upfront Counseling Solutions right here in Medicine Hat. If you need a counselor, just go online and book me either online or right downtown Medicine Hat. Have a fantastic day, and don't forget to watch The 4 Horsemen, you know, from Gottman Therapy. All right, take care. Blessings on your day.